What up, Corner Crew? We are live with the next episode of Let's Talk About. Want to give a shout out to y'all, man, for rocking with us. Every little bit counts, the likes, the shares, the subscribes. We're trying to make 2024 our year. We have a lot of dope shit coming for y'all. A lot of dope shit. But yeah, man, I'm just going to be waiting for some people to see if they're going to join us. Let me do the tags and whatnot that need to be done while I'm on camera with y'all. Everyone who's watching, if you're watching, you can join. You know what I'm saying? This is open to everyone. We want to have a lot of interaction between our members because we're trying to build, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to build that bridge. And yo, Pizzo, join us, my brother. Join us. The discussion tonight will be addiction. I think that's something that's touched everyone's life. If you haven't done it personally, it's touched you through family members, loved ones, friends. I mean, just about anything. Shane, what up, my dude? This is our show. Let's talk about it. This is episode number 4. Click the link, join us. You know what I'm saying? You just got to take 2 little steps. Click the link, click the 3 dots, open in Chrome. Boom, it's on. But yeah, again, our topic tonight will be addiction. I've struggled with it. I know a lot of our members have struggled with it. Sometimes it's not easy to talk about. It's not the easiest subject. You join the discussion by clicking the link at the top on the page. It should be there, but I'm going to put it in the comment section just for anyone that's not finding it. One moment. Boom, boom, boom. Just give me a second, guys. All right. All right, the link is right there in the comment section. Like I said, all you got to do is click it and you'll be able to join. I can send anyone the link also. Pizzo, I'm going to send it to you right now if that's how you need the link. Give me one moment. Sorry for the dead air. Want to give a shout out to Bad Seed, yo. Today's his birthday. Shout out to Seed, man. Shout out to Six Man. Their album came out today. Everything Means Nothing. Excellent album. I had the pleasure to hear it quite a while ago, and banger after banger. It's almost like an old school collaborative mixtape style. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, like all posse cuts, just excellent album, good production, top to bottom. Everybody killed it. Shout out to everybody, but more importantly, shout out to Seed, man. Happy birthday, brother. And I'm looking forward to the Cool Table Concert Series Volume 3. That's coming up February 16th. Damn, we're getting close. That's a week and a half away. Brooklyn, New York, Secret Pour. It's going to be a hell of a show. But yeah, I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer, see if anyone wants to join us. Y'all know the topic, addiction. Sometimes, like I said earlier, it's a little hard to talk about, but we want to talk about the hard things. Our first couple episodes were pretty deep. Last week we just fucked around and talked about conspiracy theories and whatnot. We're going to try to keep it light every so often, but we want to talk about the things that people kind of push under the rug and the things that people shy away from, or they'll be a nameless post somewhere out in the social media world instead of putting their face and their words behind it. I feel to get your point across, it's better to talk. It's hard to read a text and distinguish where someone's feelings are coming from or anything like that. My man Pizzo is on the line. I'm gonna bring him up right now. Yo, what up, dude?
Salute. What's good, my boy?
No, what's good? How are you? Thank you for joining us, brother. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you having me. This is very very touch and home subject for me. You know what I mean? And wow, man. I mean, place to start. I mean, I'm coming up on 28 months clean from all mood and mind altering substances. You know what I'm saying? I'm with people like to joke and consider to be California sober. All I really do is smoke marijuana, but I
Yeah.
keep
Same
that
here.
under. I keep that under control too. I treat it like medicine. I don't like wake up and just smoke weed all day. Unfortunately, life doesn't give me the availability to do that anymore. So,
Mm.
but now I went from mainlining heroin quite regularly and pretty much taking any substance I can get my hands on to you know getting on maintenance. And I had a stroke and a couple aneurysms and overdosed a few times to the point that I was clinically dead a couple times. And I'm still here, bro. And I love the hip hop shit, and music's kept me alive, and all of these opportunities I get to speak about addiction and how the music has helped me get past it, and the methods and tools that I've used to get where I'm at. The only way that I get to keep what I got is by helping other people. So that's what I'm here doing.
Mm. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and like I said, people are scared to talk about personal things like this sometimes, which I totally understand, you know. But if you could help someone, why not? If you're willing to talk about it, that's what this show is about. We want to
I
talk
mean,
about the
listen,
hard
at
stuff.
first, while I was going through it all, it was a little difficult to talk.
Hmm. Well, you must be going through a bad service area.
Yeah, a little bit. I think I might be better now. But yeah, I mean, it was difficult to
Yeah,
talk about it first until I realized how many people were actually going through it as well. And then I realized that like I had a job to do. You know what I'm saying? Like as artists, we kind of have a responsibility, if you will. You know what I'm saying? To share a message with people that don't necessarily have the ability to have their own voice. So
exactly, exactly. And then an addict's brain, like the only thing exists is when you're going to be up next, like that's what you're chasing. And it's the chase is part of it. We know this, like I've been addicted to many substances over the years. You fight, and I'm California sober, and I don't drink anymore. That's a
nice,
good thing.
congratulations.
No more of the yayo, so that's a good thing. Those are all the things that will destroy your life if you let it. And a lot
Absolutely.
of
I joke with people and I tell them I never, stole anybody's shit for weed.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
it's a much safer alternative.
It really is, and I mean, now that it's decriminalized basically across every state, and it's so accessible, as soon as Rhode Island, I think Rhode Island, became recreational legal last January, January
Right.
2023, I think the vote went through, and at least 15 dispensaries popped up, like, you can throw a
Mhm.
stone, and
I just
that's
want to
it.
add a little. I just want to add a little disclaimer to that. I mean, anything in access, anything that you abuse is no good for you. That goes for
Oh,
caffeine, that goes for sex or food, or you know what I'm saying. I just don't want it to sound like glorifying weed or making it sound like it's the answer to anybody's problems, because it's absolutely not. I mean, there's a lot of soul searching and work that has to be done within, but people like me that have dealt with the PTSD and the things that I've dealt with, unfortunately, for me to allow my brain free will and to, run amok on its own, it's detrimental to my well-being. So, what works for me is not necessarily going to work for everybody. I just wanted to, make sure that I clear that part of it up.
oh, yeah, definitely, everyone has their own process, everyone. Like, part of my story is I was born a month and a half premature. I was 2 pounds, 3 ounces. My mother was heavily, heavily into cocaine at the time. My father was dealing cocaine at the time. It was so accessible to her.
Yes, sir.
I In between me and my next sibling, there was 7 years. Like, she thought she couldn't have kids anymore. She was 37 years old. She was 36 when she got pregnant,
Wow.
and, but she just was so far into it that she couldn't stop. So that affected me. As soon as I came out, they actually had to C-section me out because she was gonna die. Like,
Mm.
she was getting ready to go into cardiac arrest, so they said, "We either pull the baby out and you both have a shot or you both die." So she said, "Pull him out." They pulled me out. They gave me, I think, 24 hours to live,
Damn.
and then it was, "Oh, he might make it 6 months," and then, "Oh, he might make it till he's 5." I had a lot of problems from it, a lot of problems from it, but I just turned 44 years old, so it goes to show you doctors don't know everything, and it's all about the person, that your will to survive, your will to do what you need to do to get through this. And like, I don't put it on my mother or my father for my personal demons, because I don't like to do that. I'm the youngest of 10 kids,
Wow.
and a lot of my brothers and sisters still put that, like, mom and dad did this. And
Yeah.
you're all past 50 years old by this point. It's like, we got to take responsibility for yourself. So
Right.
I take total responsibility. But I was the kid when I was little. If you were smoking a cigarette around me, I ran away. Like, I didn't even want the cigarette smoke around me. And
Well,
then, but
I mean, taking
as
taking
I got older,
responsibility and blame are totally different. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And at a certain point, like it's good to admit where you went wrong, but don't, it's difficult because to negate your upbringing and try to push that to the back burner, that's not fair to yourself either. I mean, listen, taking responsibility for yourself is an amazing quality, and I wish more people were able to do that instead of pointing fingers and blaming others for the problems that they've endured in their life. But that's not to say that, some of us didn't grow up, really rough, man. And that's also not to say that some of us don't have it worse than others, but it really is a matter of perspective. You know what I mean? So I try to tell everybody to give themselves a break. You know what I mean? Like, it's good that you take responsibility, but where do we go from there, right? Like, once we acknowledge our part in it all, now how do we get better? You know what I mean? And that's the part where I think a lot of people get stuck.
they don't know what the next step is.
Right.
It's like trying to start a business. Where do you,
Yeah.
unless you went to business school and you were trained to start business, like, be an entrepreneur. You can't just say one day, I'm going to do this, because you need a path. And then
Right.
it's the same thing with recovering from addiction. If you
Right.
weren't given those tools your whole entire life on how to really balance yourself, that's what it really, the way I personally feel is, like, it's come down to how you balance yourself.
That's a great point that you made too. You don't wake up one day and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to be the CEO of a multi-million dollar
Exactly.
corporation." It doesn't work that way.
Mm,
And for a lot of us, we were groomed into the lifestyle that we led. The streets, taught us a lot of the things that we know, and therefore, a lot of our actions were based off of the things that we were taught. So if you're
mm,
taught incorrectly, it's not about blame, right? It's not. It's like, whose fault is it? It doesn't really matter. The whole thing is what we're talking about now. What do we do with it? So try to find somebody that has a successful blueprint, right? Somebody that went through similar things that we did, and doesn't live like that anymore. So now the question is, like, how did they do it? And that's
mm.
the point where I'm at now is, I'm really comfortable where I'm at in life, and it's far from great. You know what I mean? There's still a lot of things that I deal with on a regular basis that, a lot of people do. But with that being said, I mean, I have a pretty good idea of how to keep myself away from the drugs and B, working towards a brighter future. And it's a
Mm.
lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice. And eventually, once you start doing the right thing, then these doors start to open, and the things that need to be done next become a lot easier to figure out.
Yeah, that's the key right there, is doing the right thing. That's that's big, because I mean, addicts, we shit on people, we steal, we do people dirty constantly. Or we did. I can't say we do, but we
Right? No,
did.
we did,
We did.
and then we
And
validated it.
right, and it was all about, that, because it was all about us. Actually, we have another one joining us. We have Mr. Blind Visionary himself, Kevin Cooper. I'm gonna bring him up to the stage.
That's what's up.
Kevin, my brother, how are you, my friend?
Good morning, children. I am not in California, but I'm California sober.
Same, same.
How's your
Shout out
fridge,
to you,
Kev?
man.
How's my fridge? My fridge is still comatose.
We're
Uh,
Um,
working on that. We're working on that. Shout
that
out
big,
to everybody that's donated, man. We're
I'm
almost
trying
up.
to I'm trying to find a way to get you one from my store in Edison, New Jersey.
you know how much it costs to ship shit here?
I do, because I've been looking into it for the past like day and a half.
Uh,
And what's
dude,
messed up, right?
to
Anything,
ship a CD is ridiculous.
It's
anything,
crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
anything electronic, they charge 40% customs duty. So like,
Yeah.
if something, because like a fridge costs over $1,000 here. Like even if you buy it in the States for 5 or 6, by the time you get it here and you pay all the fees, looking at twice the amount of the fridge. So it's
Yeah, well, I have a decent refrigerator, right around like 500, $550, but they wanted over $1,000, to get it to you. And there was no guarantee on how quick it would get to you either. So it was one of those things like,
yeah. See, but like the thing is, what we found out was it has something to do with the wiring in the kitchen.
oh, okay, faulty wiring, yeah.
Fridge we had before, we had for 23 years, but like it was a drain on the electric bill. So I don't know if it's the circuitry that was different, but apparently every time we turned the microwave or the toaster oven on, it would send a surge to the fridge and we didn't know.
Oh,
So that's why the warranty was like we couldn't get it.
right.
You're lucky you didn't blow out the whole room.
Very much so, but like everybody,
Crazy.
because like if you guys are telling me something and you can see, I'm going to listen to you. Whereas I have supersonic hearing, and I was telling everybody, I was like, once it got repaired, I was saying this doesn't sound right, and everybody was like, "It's fine, just ignore it." And then here we are, and then it's funny. I also got blamed because I basically spoke to the repair guy and I said, "Could it be an electrical issue?" And he said, and because of that, he didn't fix it for free. And they're like, "If you just shut up, he wouldn't have." I said, "Yeah, but we wouldn't have known about the electrical problem."
Right, and he would have fixed it, and the same problem would have happened again, and you'd be in the same situation in 5 days from now.
Yeah, so now the option is to kind of reconstruct a fridge internally, Frankenstein size, like that. But it's gonna go back to the way the old wattage was, where it's gonna like be a straight electric bill. But it will fix indefinitely. But like end of the day, we need a new fridge.
Right, and that's what I was going to say next. Hopefully, the fundraiser that whoever started, and by the way, that was really really awesome that they did that. Hopefully, the community will rally up and be able to do something to help you out, man.
Yeah.
That was me.
Appreciate a glass of ice water until you can't have one.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're almost up to 600 in 2 days, 3 days. So that's pretty damn good. Hopefully,
that's awesome.
Hopefully this week we can meet the goal. But yeah, let's move on to our topic though, because I know Kevin, I know you got some things you want to say about this. We've discussed it in the past.
I was hesitant to come on here because I just lost somebody very special to me over the holidays. Like she was really bad. A good soul, but a very hurt soul. And somebody who, at the end of the day, it's a choice. Even if it kind of grabs hold of us, we make choices. We consciously make choices. And like she made a choice to abuse substances and choose addiction over her son. And that kind of was showing me how powerful that was, because after we kind of fell out, she got pregnant by a dealer. And her mentality was, okay, Kevin doesn't want to party with me all the time. This guy will let me do all the drugs I want and drink as much as I want. And like, he doesn't have a cutoff point, because what happened was I'd be like, girl, the party has to end. And she used to hate me for it, because that's all. She would go on binges for literally 3-4 days. And like, if I was like, girl, I got to go to sleep or I got to do something, she would get mad at me and we'd get into fights. And the last major fight we had was she was completely out of her mind. And she hit me in the face and called me the N-word. And it was just downhill ever since. Like, she bailed, disappeared, ended up smoking crack with some people. And then somewhere along the line, she met this guy who was a dealer who basically supplied her all she wanted and ended up knocking her up. So I was like, okay, you know what? That's in my rear view. I can't abandon her, because if I wasn't her friend, if I really was her friend, I wouldn't do that. So I kind of was in the background supporting her at a distance. And then when she got pregnant, I was like, okay, she'll come around when she has a kid, because I've seen other addicts in that, like that kid sobers them up. But apparently she was using during pregnancy. So the kid was born on the spectrum, and her and her dude, they were basically addicts, and they would outsource raising the kid to the mom. But lo and behold, towards the end, the dad got his shit together because he wanted to step up for the kid, and she wouldn't see him for days on end, to the point where he'd be crying for his mom. And then when she comes around, it would be reluctantly, because they were both sick, and then she would disappear again. And like, turns out she was just off. You know, she had graduated, she was doing meth, and then she was shooting up dope, and she OD'd. And we don't know if it was self-inflicted or accidental, but she died on her son's 4th birthday instead of being there at his party.
That's crazy.
And she was only 30.
I'm sorry for your loss, man.
And it hasn't fully registered yet, because like it did. We all saw the signs, bro. We all saw the signs. But like, if she didn't see it, and if she didn't want to do anything, it didn't matter. Like, no.
Well, if the pain is too great, you know what I'm saying? If the pain is too great, whether she saw it or not, whether she wanted to do something about it or not, at that point, we lose all control over our inhibitions. We lose control over right from wrong, because all our brains are fixated on is the next fix. You know, it's the next 10, 20-minute period where we don't have to feel anything. And, you know, it is sad. It's sad to watch the people that we love and we care about turn into this, like, zombified version of the person that we used to know, you know. And with the way the drugs are nowadays, with fentanyl being and everything, and you know, it's really difficult, man, because it happens quick now. You know, it used to be a gradual process. You know, it would take you some time to become addicted to these things. You know, and now, because of the new makeup of all of these drugs, I mean, people are falling into addiction in like 3 or 4 days. You know, and that's really scary to think about that, because I mean, it could literally happen to anybody. You have a couple bad days in a row, and you're introduced to something, you know, poison like that, and it'll steal your whole life in less than a week.
Yeah, it's insane. And we, like I said, we've all been touched by it. Speaking of fentanyl, a good friend of mine on Christmas, it was New Year's Eve 2023. So New Year's Eve 2022, he smoked some weed laced with fentanyl. Didn't know it was in there. Passed out, didn't wake up. And it was such a shock. You know, it's like when you start losing. I went to high school in Florida. My teenage years, I was basically in Florida the whole time. So those were the real tight friendships that I made with the kids in my neighborhood and whatnot. And I think out of maybe 7 or 8 guys that were in that neighborhood that all hung out, there's 2 of us left, or 3 of us left. And all the rest of them died to some sort of overdose, which is, the numbers are insane. The point, like you said, everything's so strong, everything's so potent at this point. The introduction of fentanyl into everything changed the game totally. Like, what was that those guys that were watching the football game, the Kansas City fans, they went outside to just have a cigarette or something. It was cold out. Bodies were found 2 days later, and now that they did the toxicology report, they were doing cocaine, but the cocaine had fentanyl in it. So they all did from the same stash. They all went outside, and all 3 of them overdosed right there outside. The guy that's house they were at didn't know they were even outside, and they didn't find the bodies till 2 days later. It's crazy how the numbers of ODs and deaths in 2023 and going into 2024, they're at a record all-time high, especially because of the addiction, because of the way the world is, because of the way relationships are, and the way we communicate with each other, and the way it all folds into itself. It really does.
Well, I mean, with the introduction of social media, you know what I'm saying, and the fact that people can tell the entire world how they feel and what they ate and every single thought that goes in, you know, on in their mind, and the fact that it's so easy now to make fun of other people without any sort of ramifications or repercussions, it turned most of my friends into statistics, you know. And it doesn't really matter how strong we are. I mean, rest in peace, Awful P. I mean, he was one of the strongest human beings I've ever met in my life. I mean, really, he had problems and he struggled with things, but He didn't want to die. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty positive that he just got himself a bad bag or something, and that's all it takes, man. It's as simple as one bad decision, and now you're not here no more. And it doesn't matter what your intentions are or how strong or weak you are. We're all one bad decision away, and sometimes unbeknownst to all of us, you smoke a joint in a party, and that could be the last one you smoke. So it's a matter of being mindful of the situations that we're in now, and looking out for each other. That's the biggest thing that I realized, man. We need a community, of us that stick together, that care about each other and check on each other, and fuck all that, being, oh, I'm a man, I don't need to, check on my brothers type shit. Nah, that's bullshit. Like, we need to be accountable for each other. That's also part of the reason why I jumped on here. I'm a advocate, and I'm willing to help anybody that I can. Hit me up anytime, day or night, and if I can do something to help, I absolutely will.
I think that's a stance all three of us have. Is we're very open. We're very open. We're willing to talk, and we're there. Like I know Kev's there. I know you're there, and I hope people would think that I'm there, because I try to do what I can. I'm willing to talk about anything. There's no taboo subject in my world. Life's too short. Life's too short. Life's too short to be prudish and be like, "Ooh, I don't want to talk about this," or "This offends me." Even if I'm offended by something, I'm still willing to talk to someone about it, because it might help them, or it might help me, or it might help the world. Who knows? Who knows? With, like you said, social media, we can go on here and do and say just about whatever with no consequence. But on the other hand, the world is telling us, don't bully, be nice, be kind, this and that and the third. And then you see how rampant bullying and being a shithead is on social media. And it does push people that are addicts to the point where they want to give up, and they'll take a bad batch. They'll go above their limit, and they know that they're going above their limit. And
Right. That's why I think what you're doing with your platform here is so important. I mean, it really is so paramount that with all of the negative stuff that we could be talking about, and all of the nonsense we could be talking about for 45 minutes, that you're using it for something positive, and the antithesis of what the bullying agenda is and how contradictory it is. I mean, you're taking time out of your own life to really try to make a difference, man. And that's really, that's really really stellar of you, bro.
Thank you. That was my goal from the beginning, from starting this. Is it's not about me. I never even wanted to be on camera, but you gotta do it. If no one else is gonna do it, I don't care if I have 2 people watching me, I have 20, or I have 200. It's someone that's eyes. It's reaching out to someone. I know,
Listen,
Kev.
if you make a difference in one person's life, bro, if you change one person's life and you give one person hope to live for one more day, you're touching so many more people than you even realize.
Oh, yeah, that butterfly effect, man. That butterfly
Yes, sir.
effect.
That shit is very real.
Kevin, I know you have some thoughts on how social media reacts and acts and that sort of thing, and how it pushes people to that brink. So speak on it, my brother.
All right, honestly, psychological trauma on social media, and I know we all vary as far as having thick skin, right? And I've seen it break the best of, like, people who are solid rocks as far as in real life, but then that social media world, because at the end of the freaking day, we have to acknowledge that being basically connected all the time for the last, call it 20 years now, it has rewired our structure and our basically way of being. So technically, that is the mammoth behemoth addiction, but it doesn't really get spoken on because it's a legal substance that people, giant corporations, are profiting off of. But at the end of the fucking day, when you guys wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is go in the bathroom, what do? You have your phone to do. You're checking what's going on.
Pretty much.
It's wake and bake.
Hmm.
You know, wake and bake your brain. I'm guilty of it. We're all here because we're guilty of it. But it's kind of like, okay, the dependency will not be as apparent until we have like a global blackout and there's no internet, and you see how crazy people go. When you see that jump and get that fix in the streets, I'll suck your dick, I'll go rob it, all that shit.
Yo, let me get your Wi-Fi password, man.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the thing is, once we do that, the system becomes our dealers. You know, because look at it. They keep putting in these regulations, right? That kind of say, okay, if under our right mind, we'd be like, all right, I'm out. But we're like, okay, I'm in it. First of all, we're still on Twitter. We know who Elon Musk is. We know the company that's on Twitter, but we're like, oh, we were there before. It was fine before. Let's just keep doing that. Let's just ignore all the other crap. Does this not sound familiar?
Out of sight, out of mind is what's going to kill this country.
This world, bro. This planet.
It's crazy. And social media is probably one of the biggest addictions that we face as a whole society. It's something that everyone has in common.
You can get validated on social media so quickly. Let you be a female that insecure about yourself, and I guarantee you post one picture of yourself half naked, and you're going to have more attention than you know what to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter what you look like. You could be
makes no difference. If you want attention or validation, you're going to find it on social media.
Yep, and it's insane. And the people that chase it are like these. There's a lot of these in real life streamers out there making names for themselves, doing dumb shit, just chasing the attention. That's such the attention is.
It's the same people that feel that everybody deserves a trophy for participation, and everybody's a winner, and like, no, that's not how this fucking works. You know what I'm saying?
Life has changed very much so, and like you said, the past 20 years we're so connected that once we become disconnected, look at, what was it, 2 years ago when Facebook shut down for like a day? People were losing their damn minds. It was like the end of we were like, what the hell is going on here? How are we going to change everything if we have to, from Facebook to this? It's like, so then you start creating your backup plan, which is the same thing as chasing your drug. You have your main dealer, and then if he falls through, you got your next guy, and then you got your third guy that's always the pain in the ass, but you'll deal with him if you have to. And it's the same thing with trying to jump between social media platforms, juggling anything in entertainment. Really,
isn't it fascinating? Isn't it fascinating to think that like 100 years ago we had a Pony Express and like carrier pigeons that were actually like real things, and when people wanted to communicate with each other, they had to either like write letters or send telegrams, or you know what I'm saying? And they still found a way to make it work. Like, people were still in touch with each other, and they all survived. It was amazing. Nobody posted pictures of what they had for dinner, and somehow they still managed to get through the fucking day.
Up until 2007, we were basically had to send letters and all that nonsense. We had our little flip phones with text messages, but that was about it. We didn't have this big platform that we have now that reaches every corner of the globe. But I remember growing up, we had pen pals in school. Remember that shit? You always had like every year. You always have to have a pen pal, and you talk to somebody, you had no idea if you're even going to get your letter. You'd be sending out your letters to your grandma or whoever the hell, across the country, or you'd have to drive to go see them. That was it. Now you can just boom. I have someone from Jamaica, and I forget where you're from. Are you from New Jersey? Jersey. That's what I thought. Yeah. So I'm talking to a Jersey dude and a Jamaican dude right now, and I'm sitting in Rhode Island.
It definitely has its benefits, but there's
it's still chasing that dragon, man. It's still chasing that dragon, and it's insane. But,
hey guys, listen, I appreciate y'all having me. I gotta get ready to dip out. I got they're about to debut a song I got dropping with Prime Prolific on I forget what the name of it is. I'm really bad at like cutting shit in, but it's I think his name is Jay DeMarco. He's out of Allentown. He's got a radio station, and they're gonna debut premiere of the joint I just did with Prime, and I'm getting ready to stop off at my son's house and have some dinner. But I really appreciate you guys having me on here. I really do like a lot what you're doing with this platform, fam, and anything that I can do in the future to help and be a part of it, hit me up privately, let me know, and I'm all in, fam.
Oh yeah, thank you for joining us. We, like I said, man, every Tuesday, 6 o'clock. You're more than welcome to join us every week. We'll be here
All right.
every week or
Well,
every other week.
I know where I'll be every Tuesday from this point on, moving forward.
Oh yeah, thank you, brother.
I
Thank you for joining
appreciate
us.
you, fam, and Christ, man, we're gonna do everything we can to help you out, fam.
Appreciate you, P.
Appreciate you, guys. All right,
All right,
guys, I will talk to y'all soon, man.
all right, bro. Peace.
Peace.
Mr. Cooper.
Yes, sir. Yo, that better right there, though. Like, shout out to him because he made a lot of the choices my friend didn't make, and that's kind of like what kind of broke my heart towards the end is that she willingly became an addict. And yes, the pain was a lot. We all had pain, but she had so many people in her corner. And you know how we always want that one person to be in our corner? She had multiple people in her corner, and she just the addiction was so powerful that it counterweighted all of that. You know, like whatever was left of her when I met her was gone completely after, towards the end.
It's a sad thing, man. Like I feel for the kid because I remember being a little boy and watching my mother struggle through her alcohol addiction and whatnot, getting beat up by boyfriends, that sort of thing. Seeing that,
Yeah.
seeing all of it as a young kid, and this is the '80s. No one cared. No one called the police unless it was really, really severe. Everybody just let everything play out to wait to see whatever would happen. And nowadays, I mean, I would like to think that it would be a little different, but who knows? Because we see it every day and we see it on camera. We see there's YouTube channels dedicated to people nodding out in the streets, which is horrible for the person that's creating that kind of content. It's like, why would you even do that? You're just showing somebody at their lowest of their lows.
Mm-hmm.
There is no reason for that, but people watch it, man. It's like watching a car accident. It's basically the same thing.
Yep. I have 10% battery left on my phone, so if I die, sorry, bad choice of words, Kevin.
Yeah, right.
Phone doesn't
Right.
power anymore. I'll jump on my other one and just come right back.
It's all good, man, because we're gonna be wrapping it up in a few minutes anyway. We got to
get through that then.
we got a couple of things we got to shoot tonight. I just wanted to get on. We're almost 45 minutes in. That's a good number.
Out, so I'll see what's going on when we get off.
Yeah, definitely. I don't understand why I tried downloading it 6 times and it didn't work. It's telling me I can't open it. I don't have anything on my phone but every time I tried to compress it, I tried to do everything and it's not letting me. So, but yeah, do you want to say any closing words before we shut down?
As people who are creatures of habit, try to find, like, if we're going to have dependency tendencies, we need to try to find things that are healthy habits. Because at the end of the day, we have to be honest with ourselves. This world is kind of fucked to the point where you need something. Be it religion, be it your face buried in vagina 24/7, be it your job, you need something. The key is to make it helpful. And if you can, make it be impactful positively on others around you, as opposed to being what the regular addict is, which is not just a burden on themselves, but the people directly around them. So To thyself be true. If you have an issue, admit it. It's okay. You're not alone. You're not a bad person because you made a bad decision. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's choice and it's work. And you need to actually step up and apply yourself, and everything else will fall into place. Stepping up and acknowledging, that's the hardest part. Everything else will fall into place if you want it to, but it's up to you, the individual. But just know, people are rooting for you. The dog in my background is rooting for you. So just keep going, people. Like, it's not over unless you decide it is. I have spoken.
It's not over till you're dead. It's really not. And don't try to make that happen faster. You know, life is short as it is. It's pretty precious. It could things happen that could change you drastically within moments. And it's happened to a lot of us. And it's going to continue to happen to a lot of us. And like he said, you're not a bad person if you've made bad decisions. My personal belief is you become a bad person when you start hurting everybody around you with those bad decisions and you just don't give a fuck. That's to the point where I have to sit back and be like, okay, am I even going to bother with this person anymore? Because they won't even acknowledge that they've done something wrong, or they won't even acknowledge that they've hurt or they've burned every bridge around them. You really need to take accountability. We all need to take accountability for ourselves, our actions. It's a different world. We're not, like I said, we're not in the 80s and 90s anymore where things could just be brushed under the rug and people forget about them. There's a digital footprint for everything now. People will bring up 10 year ago comment that you made just to try to cancel you. So just be aware that accountability means a lot in this time of this day and age, really. And hopefully that more people will start taking accountability for themselves. And like Kev said, like Pizzo said, reach out to us, man. You're never alone. You're never alone. If you're struggling, I answer pretty quickly. I know Kev answers. I know Pizzo answers. I know a lot of people in our group that will answer you, even if you don't know them, even if you never had a conversation with them before in your life. You know, if you've seen a post on about something where they're saying that they're willing to help, they're really willing to help. So reach out if you have an issue. There's always numbers to call. There's hotlines. There's facilities that you can check yourself into. Even some of them, like your insurance will cover it 100%. Sometimes your jobs will cover it 100%. It just depends on who you work for. If you need the help, go out there and find it. I know my voice sounds like shit. I'm starting to lose it. But yeah, man, for Kevin, for Pizzo, for the Culture Corner, let's talk about episode number 4 is in the books. We appreciate you. Again, shout out to Bad Seed. Happy birthday, my brother. Looking forward to seeing you next week. And we'll be back next week, same time, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Join us. Peace.
Yes. Bless up. Bless up.
Yeah, don't know.